Welcome back to the Working Lunch. I'm Jack Crumley. We are talking all things business, of course, here in the city of Cincinnati and in the tri-state region, putting a little more of a focus than usual on northern Kentucky. It's really important for me that we keep all sorts of different parts of our region in the conversation. Northern suburbs, into the downtown Cincinnati area, out into Claremont County, further east, where there's obviously a ton of development going on, and in northern Kentucky, a growing region. You saw we just talked about the city of Covington and everything that's going on there. I am happy to have on now the city manager for Covington, Sharmili Reddy. Sharmili, thank you very much for having time to come on the show. I know you're really busy with various things going on in the city.
Thank you for having me.
So, hey, the main thing that I reached out to initially about having you on was this report that came out earlier this month about the city of Covington making a purchase of about an acre of land along Pike Street, 257 Pike Street. That is potentially going to be a farmer's market, but you guys are looking for some public input on what to do with this land. I guess starting off, how did this particular sale come about?
Everything that you said is exactly right. Covington has been searching for a permanent location for a farmer's market for many years. And we're currently on Washington Street, in the 6th Street, in the vicinity of the 6th Street area, but it's moved around so many times. It's been at Main Strasse, it's been at Goble Park, it's been in the Roebling area. And we realized that for this market to actually grow, it needs to be established a little bit more. And so having a more permanent location at this point in time made sense.
Okay, so go on, please.
No, I was just going to say that this was the perfect opportunity for us to work on this unique partnership that we have with the Covington Independent Schools, the Motor Vehicle Parking Authority, and also the Center for Great Neighborhoods, all of who will be at this open house.
Yeah, I saw that the land is owned by Covington Independent Schools, and obviously there's a larger partnership that some of the reporting on this land sale talked about, collaborative development opportunity between the city, the school district, the Center for Great Neighborhoods. This is you guys are juggling a bunch of different groups all working together on this one parcel of land.
We are, because that's what it's going to take to get this project done. We do believe that it is in a very, very up-and-coming corridor of Covington, which Pike Street is an important gateway for the city, and we've seen some significant private investments by smaller developers in the last couple of years. We have a beautiful coffee shop, we have a fitness place, we have a deli, we have residential development happening in this corridor. So it's getting stronger and stronger, and having a farmers market in that corridor just make perfect sense for us. And to pull that off, we need all of these partners.
Yeah, right. A bunch of different, many hands making light work. What would it involve for the city? You guys have acquired this land. It would stay city-owned land if it does become a permanent farmers market. Does that involve any new construction of like pavilions or utility work or anything like that in the area?
Yeah, we're still working through those nuances on who will actually own it, but we do have a entity that runs our farmers market. So the Center for Great Neighborhoods actually is already very involved in the farmers market, in our current farmers market. So we're still working through those nuances, but we're going to need each one of these partners to kind of step up and help out. Of course, we're going to be an integral part of the conversation. We'll make some infrastructure improvements around. And the pavilion itself, of course, these are the things that we'll be able to talk to and get and seek public feedback on at the open house about the pavilion, about the use of the space around it, about the retail and different components of this project.
Yeah, you guys are, you're still taking public input. The idea is that this would be a permanent location for a farmer's market, but you are having an open house on July 13th. That's going to be in the afternoon. As far as I know, there isn't a specific location on that. I'm sure the city will be putting out the word, but I mean, the idea that you're still taking public input, does that mean that you're not fully married to the idea that this would be a farmer's market?
Yeah, we really are interested in hearing from the public about what they think about it. And the drawing that we put out is a conceptual rendering so that people have something to reflect on and respond to. So we want people to come in and be able to say, if you're going to put a farmer's market here, then it needs to fit in with the character of the urban neighborhood around. Or we might have people say, hey, there should be a small retail component, and here's the kind of retail that's missing in our neighborhood that we'd really like you all to attract. Or they might say, we'd like to see the parking lot have green components. I mean, there's all kinds of input that can be provided on the concept that we're putting out. And the cool thing about the open house is that people will have an opportunity to talk to each one of our partners that is going to play a very specific role in this project.
Yeah, that's great. So that's coming up again in July 13th. I'll be keeping an eye out to put the word out to folks on when that's going on. So, in the Big Bite segment, I was trying to give a pretty nice zoomed out view on everything that Covington has going on. You guys crossing that $1 billion mark for total payroll. You talked about what an important part Pike Street is to a major corridor in the city. You guys have a tremendous amount of development going on. How important is it for you to balance that with also dealing with challenges like the construction for the Brent Spence, really having a lot of traffic rerouted away from Pike Street and up closer to Mainstrasse?
Well, I'll tell you what, in spite of all this infrastructure happening around us, nothing is slowing down in Covington. People still want to continue to be in Covington. They're visiting us. Nothing is really stopping anybody from coming to our city, which is fantastic. There is just a lot of momentum right now. We've got development at the central Covington riverfront site. We've got the convention center that is going to undergo a major renovation. We've got the Commonwealth Center with the UK and NKU universities going in there. So we've got that happening. We've invested in the CNO Roundhouse, which was formerly the Judo Bragg project. We'll see some development there over time. I could go on and on and on with development projects that it's just not going to slow down because of the infrastructure stuff happening around us. If anything, it's just going to propel, I think, the level of development and interest that we're going to have in our city.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you specifically about the old IRS site with that big development. That is essentially going to be a new neighborhood in Covington, right?
Absolutely. And that's how it was envisioned when the original thought process behind that was developed. So yeah, right now we're seeing construction of the single family homes and townhomes. The next up will be a mixed use development with apartments. The second phase of that project has a garage, a public garage with office space and a hotel. Just an incredible level of development that will bring back the street grid, which the city has invested in and will continue to invest in getting the project done. So it is essentially going to be a whole new neighborhood in that area.
Yeah, that's a really big development. And then just north of there, up closer to the riverfront where the convention center is, that whole development, that Corporex facility has been very busy along that road. And that's where the biomedical building is going to be, this combo between NKU and UK doing medical science and also legal departments. What was it like to see that project come together with those two institutions?
Obviously, we're thrilled to have more people in our city because, again, it brings a lot of folks here. It develops our economy. It helps our restaurants. It helps our neighborhoods. So we are thrilled that instead of a parking lot, there's going to be a development there that's actually going to bring people in. Of course, we always try to balance all of this with what our community wants and is willing to accept. So that's the pace at which we want to move. And right now, again, we're seeing incredible momentum.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive stuff, and that's in addition, along with the idea that exit ramp is shut down for a while, and then also the Licking River Bridge connecting things to Newport is also down. You guys are sort of doing all this development with like an arm or two tied behind your back, at least in terms of ease of transportation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, I think there's a lot happening in the city that when all of these projects are done, it is just going to be amazing. But none of this is really stopping from these projects from moving forward. We're still getting interest in our small businesses. We're still getting interest in our spaces. People still want to live in our city. In fact, that's the one thing we hear a lot is, hey, we want to move into Covington. Where can we be? Infrastructure is just something that's going to have to keep up with all the stuff that we want to do. So we're excited to see both of those happening.
That's great. Sharmili Reddy is the city manager for the city of Covington, Kentucky. Good luck on everything you guys have going forward. Please keep us in the loop if there are any new developments, if you want to get the word out about stuff. Really excited to see all the new things that are coming to your city. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.